Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to Green Gardens. And today we have with us Mr. Amitabh Saran, who is the CEO of leading EV technology and transportation solutions company, Altigreen. So let's begin with the first question. So what inspired the establishment of your company and how did that initial inspiration drive its journey? And can you highlight a few key milestones that your company has achieved along the way?
Well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ashima. The journey of Altigreen started almost a decade back, and the motivation was largely the number of lives India, our own country, India loses every year because of poor air quality related to road transport. You'll be surprised to know that number stands anywhere between 5 to 6 lakh people a year. It's a huge number in comparison when 1 lakh people died of COVID. Unfortunately, there was a national lockdown. 5 to 6 lakh people die every year in our country because of road transport related pollution. Something has to be done on a war footing. And I think the folks who have to do it are people who will be responsible for making change happen. And that is generally the startups. They are the ones who make change happen, and they are the ones who are pushing it. Altigreen started by looking at this space, determining that what India lacked were drivetrains that would allow us to create good electric vehicles. Until we have good drivetrains, we will not be in a position to create electric vehicles that can compete with fossil fuel. So we started by doing that. So today, Altigreen has 29 global patents granted to it. We build, by build, I mean design, develop, fabricate, and manufacture all EV components, including our motors, controllers, DC-DC, voltage converters, harnesses, display clusters, the gearbox, the battery management system, the battery pack. So anything that is remotely electric is all designed, developed, and fabricated, manufactured by us through an ecosystem of partners, of course, but it's our design and we take care of everything. So you understand the motivation, you understand where we came from. Our expertise is in two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and small commercial four-wheelers. We have chosen to pick three-wheelers as our first market. And the reason for that is also very, very clear. You'll be surprised and happy to know that about 400 million people, that's about 40 crore people, access a three-wheeler or get access to a three-wheeler every day in our country. So if you want to make change happen, start from a place where its impact will really be large. And that's why we've chosen three-wheelers, both cargo and passenger. And that's where we are.
Thank you, sir. So my next question is, your vehicle is specifically designed to cater the Indian conditions, both environment and commercial. So could you share some of the insights into the unique challenges and opportunities that Altigreen considers when developing EVs for the Indian market?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, it's very clear, right? You see any picture about, electric vehicles or the way they drive and all kinds of things. You'll see very nice open roads, highways, a lot of empty space, fast driving cars on freeways. The reality of our geography is very different. I'm not trying to belittle our reality, but we have to accept the reality. Our reality is heterogeneous traffic, overcrowding on roads, dust, potholes, pebbles, overloading, unprofessional driving. Anything that is considered abuse anywhere else in the world is a day-to-day scenario in our country. We have to accept that first. Second thing that we have to accept is that fossil fuels have done a wonderful job, right? I mean, they've been around for the last 100 years, and through them, we have had wonderful vehicles, and these vehicles have been taking care of our needs. And they've done a wonderful job, right? While India was developing. So when I'm trying to replace that technology with something that is different, that is futuristic, in our case, it is electric, then it has to be something which will at least be able to compete with the existing technology. It has to be better than that. It cannot be a compromise. In the past, electric vehicles in India have been around for a while, but they've always been a compromise. And when I say compromise, don't do this, don't do that, don't drive so fast, switch off the AC, turn your headlights off, all kinds of things that have been constraints. They've not been able to compete in price or performance, together against fossil fuel. So when Altigreen started, we were very clear that it has to be better than fossil fuel. Only then can I force people to accept it and buy that solution. If it is a compromise, then how can I say that you should take electric? No, it's good for the planet. You should buy an electric vehicle. I don't belong to that category. It has to be better than that, and that's what we've been doing. So our vehicles, the way we test our vehicles, the kind of shock and the vibrational shocks that we test our vehicle for, the design of all our components, the testing of all the components that we do, the manufacturability and supportability. Please realize that that is a very important thing. I mean, India is a country where we rewind our fans. We don't throw them away. We can't expect us to throw away our traction motors for vehicles. So supportability, manufacturability, production, all these are very, very important constraints under which we have to design these components and make sure that we create these components so that electric vehicles that are made on these components are better than the fossil fuel components. And all that has to be done at a cost that is perhaps equal to or equivalent to the existing technologies. So lots of problems, but yeah, that's what we are here for.
Great. Sir, am I audible properly?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'll just quickly go to the third question. What are Altigreen strategies for minimizing the environmental footprints throughout the life cycle of your mobility platforms, like from manufacturing to usage and disposal as well?
Sure. So, wherever possible, for example, our company started back in 2012, 2013. But we were very clear that we wanted to build everything in India using components that were largely available in India. So you'll be happy to know we don't import magnets, we don't import any of these things that are really not needed to ensure that you can still have good quality vehicles being produced in our country. The domestic value add in our system is very, very high, which is why, and that has happened largely because we are building these components ourselves. So wherever possible, the choice of our components has been such, the choice of the materials we use in our component has been such that they're readily available in our country, yet we make vehicles that are equivalent or in fact better than the fossil fuel counterparts that we have today. Now, in terms of reuse or recycling and those kinds of things, obviously we use aluminum, steel, and copper. All that is absolutely recyclable. The thing that we have to be concerned about is battery packs and lithium-ion cells. For that, we already have alliances in place, which will allow us to not just recycle our batteries, but also repurpose them for second life applications. And a good second life application after these battery packs are no longer worthy for use in automobiles is solar applications. And solar is becoming really, really big in India. And the more I look at it, I feel that distributed solar, every rooftop solar, is going to be very big. And that's where our batteries and the cells that we use are going to be used. And the way things are changing, it's going to be a fundamental shift, including the UPS systems that we use at home. Instead of large lead acid batteries, you might have a time when you will start seeing the same batteries that are coming out of electric vehicles. They're very, very good. They can last you for tens of years if you were using them in an application the size of what much smaller. So there are lots of applications that we're already working on, apart from recycling of the lithium that comes out from these cells. So cognizant of that.
Great. So, okay, so the government is currently planning on the next, next version of FAME 3 by next year. So, are there any specific recommendations or expectations that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I think I belong to that school of thought that, you can't have subsidy regimes on the basis of which you talk about a disruptive change that has to happen, right? So I don't belong to that school of thought. At the same time, it is extremely important that when the ecosystem for a new technology is being built, there will always be ups and downs, and subsidy typically helps. Subsidy typically will help in that area, right? So, and this has been seen across the world. Whichever geography you look at, there will always be subsidies. In fact, our neighbor China has been doing this for more than a decade. and then too there was a steep fall in vehicles, in the sales of vehicles when they were trying or contemplating to remove subsidy a couple of months back. So it's clear to us, number one, that FAME subsidy should continue, right? I wanted to make a point here. Why was FAME subsidy introduced? It was introduced because the price of batteries was so high that it was making electric vehicles non-competitive with fossil fuel. The price of battery is very high, which is why we said the subsidy will be linked to per kilowatt hour of the battery pack that you use. That was the reason why we decided to do that. Has there been price parity over the last 2 or 3 years of the FAME being around? Has there been price parity in the prices of batteries with fossil fuel? No, unfortunately, that did not happen. It was expected to go down, but it did not. I still feel that the government did a great job by introducing the PLI scheme on batteries. Once the PLI scheme kicks in and we have manufacturers of cells in India, you will see the price of lithium batteries coming down. That would be the time when the government should consider removing subsidy or changing FAME 3. I think it is very, very important that FAME continues until that price parity is established. There can be a way in which you can taper the subsidy down. I'm fine with that. Introduce PLI for a lot of the startups that allows us also to participate in production linked incentives, as well. So make a hybrid case which allows us to still see the benefits, either demand side or supply side benefits. There should be both. And I think the government is working on something like that. I think they're also considering increasing the gamut of FAME and not just limiting it to demand side subsidies. I think the state governments will also start having to play a larger role in being able to make these kinds of change happen. So quite a few things that are in line that we can see will happen as part of FAME 3.
Great. Fingers crossed, sir, for the next year. Okay. So I'll just move to the next question. What are the recent technological innovations or advancements that the company has introduced to enhance the performance and efficiency and the user experience of the electric vehicles?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the continuous innovation is the cornerstone for Altigreen. There's a reason why we have 29 global patents that have been granted to us, because we continue to innovate, and that innovation is not just in a specific area. The innovation is continuous throughout the entire vehicle. So it's not just on the mechanical or the electrical or the electronics or the software. It's a combination of all these changes that are happening. More and more, I feel the innovations that you will start seeing in electric vehicles are going to be on the software side or the networking side or that side, which has typically been something that has been away from most of the innovations. Right now, most of the innovations were either mechanical, electrical, or electronics based. I think more and more you will start seeing the shift happening towards the data side. And I think Altigreen has already been working a lot in that area, not just because, as the CEO of the company, I have a PhD in computer science, not because of that, but I do strongly feel that data and software will be the key differentiators for electric vehicles going forward. You'll be happy to know that GPT engines are already being used as part of the development strategy for our vehicles, for the software stacks that we are building. That's already happening. We are moving towards the edge. Edge computing is getting introduced so that we can make very, very quick decisions on how the vehicle is being driven by the driver. We can give him inputs on that. If you look at the efficiency matrix of a vehicle, everyone is trying to operate in that 3 to 4% zone where we're trying to make our electronics and our battery packs and our motors more efficient. A large part of the efficiency of the vehicle gets lost in driving behavior, and that's to the tune of 30% efficiency of the vehicle gets affected because of incorrect driving behavior. I don't believe I have come across a single guy who's gone to driving school and is driving a commercial vehicle in our country. I have not come across, at least in the category that I'm talking about, a three-wheeler, small commercial, four-wheeler. I am yet to see anyone. They start off as Chotu and then they graduate towards becoming a driver, right? So there are lots of things that we will have to do on the software side to be able to improve that efficiency. See, for ICE vehicles, the efficiency is 20, 22, 24%. In electric vehicles, that efficiency goes to 80, 85, 90%. So there, making good use of the energy is even more important. And hence you will start seeing more and more software taking over and providing driver assisted things, not just limited to ADAS, but also vehicle to grid, vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to infrastructure. All these things are already things that we are working in the pipeline, including, like I said, GPT engine, so that we have so much data that allows us to make decisions instantaneously and help the driver in driving the vehicle more efficiently. So good driving scores, driver scores. Also, can we use some of this data to help them in getting better insurance deals? If a driver is a safe driver, I can today I can tell you whether this driver is a safe driver, not just on the basis of how quickly he's driving or how slow he's driving. There are millions of little things that determine whether a driver is a safe driver. If he is a consistently safe driver, can I help him get lower insurance premium? Now, that would be a good use of this. You could not have done that in fossil fuel, but you can do that in electric. And those are the kinds of things that more and more we are working towards, use case based and driver orientation, so that you can see the benefits of electrification. Not just, yeah, it's a smooth drive. Yes, it's good for the planet. Not just that, but what is the impact that vehicle can have on me and my personal life?
Exactly. Very well said, sir. Okay. So looking ahead, what are the Altigreen's key priorities and ambitions in the coming years? And are there any upcoming projects and partnerships or innovations that you're particularly excited about and would like to share with us?
So, like I said, innovation is continuous. One thing we are absolutely certain from day one, that this whole electrification is here to stay. The future is electric. The source of that electricity might be different. It could be lithium, it could be sodium, aluminum, it could be fossil fuel cells. Doesn't matter. But the rest of the vehicle is electric, and that trend will continue. Innovations will continue, and innovations will be driven through partnerships. I think if we were to say that we can do everything in isolation, this is not going to happen. There is an entire ecosystem that has to be built around electric vehicles. We probably don't look at it in that minutiae when you think of fossil fuel, but fossil fuel has developed over the last 100 years. You look at street side workshops, you look at spare part availability, you look at financing of vehicles, you look at service infrastructure that has been built. It's all there. We don't think about it. The availability of fuel around the corner, you don't think about it ki, acha, where will I have to stop to take fuel? Yeah, there are enough places where I'll be able to get fuel. That entire thing has to be replicated for electric vehicle. I'm not saying that we have to stop in our journey, no, but we have to prioritize those areas where the use cases are such that the existing infrastructure can work with them. That's the reason why we chose three-wheelers. We know that they drive 100, 120, 130 kilometers a day. Can I make a vehicle that allows them to drive that? 99% of India is electrified, right? Which means that you will find a source, a regular source of power somewhere close to you compared to a diesel, CNG, or LPG pump. You might have to go 10, 12 kilometers for that. I'm talking about hinterland India. But an electricity source you will find in your neighborhood. So are there such applications which we can get started immediately, and then over a period of time, as the rest of the infrastructure build, which includes financing, which includes availability of charging infrastructure, all that, once we have that, then you build vehicles that will apply to that use case. And that's what Altigreen is doing. We've started with three-wheelers, cargo, moving to passengers. So we have that passenger availability, cargo availability, and then slowly start moving towards four-wheelers again on the carrier side, on the cargo side. We are very clear that the use case for cargo is well defined. And that's something that commercial vehicles, use case for commercial vehicles is well defined. And that's the area that we will target.
Great. So lastly, sir, what will be your advice to the people who are looking to make positive impact in the field of sustainable development and transportation and technology?
Yeah, I'm always in favor of entrepreneurs. This is my third stint. My two other companies in the past have been acquired. It's not easy. It is extremely difficult, but it is extremely rewarding. You don't look at the rewards at the end when your company gets acquired or not. Rewards are happening on a minute by minute basis, and that is what keeps you going. If you have that kida inside you to make change happen, listen to it, because that is the one that is going to take India places. If you just be complacent. Array, what can I do alone? Array, 10 other people might be doing it. Trust me, guys. Get off your butt, start moving and make change happen. We need a lot of people. There is a lot of scope for innovation. You just need to have your heart in the right place and say that, okay, I'm going to make it happen. And it's going to be extremely difficult. So you have to be patient. You have to continue on the path that you started. You will find success. I'm almost certain that you will find success if you do the right things.
Great, sir. Thank you very much for your valuable insights, sir, and thank you for speaking to us. And thank you, viewers, everyone. And please subscribe to our channel if you find our interviews interesting. So thanks a lot, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.